What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy, joined today by the man, Brian DeGennaro. How are we doing today, Brian?
I'm fantastic as always, man. How are you?
Listen, I can't complain. You know who else can't complain? Greg Allen bursted out on the scene in the Bronx after, the whole COVID fiasco. Greg Allen comes up. He's making the Yankees outfield his prized possession at this point. And we're going to talk about kind of like where he fits in the Yankees outfield moving forward, whether or not he's legit. But before we get into that, everyone be sure, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season with an occasional watch party as well. So stay tuned for all that content. But Brian, Greg friggin' Allen, he's bursted out on the scene. I mean, Yankee fans have fallen in love with this dude. If you've watched the Yankees over the last 5 games or so, you can kind of understand the presence that Greg Allen has now graced the Yankees with. And I kind of want to start things off talking about, one, how the Yankees got to this point, right? Why Greg Allen has made a name for himself in the Yankees outfield as being one of the most lovable players. You have people taking their Jacoby Ellsbury shirts, putting duct tape over it, and writing Allen over the name. So that's how serious this thing's getting in 5 games. But the Yankees have had a really brutal situation as far as the outfield goes. They lost Judge to COVID for about 10 days, I believe. Then they lost Miguel Andujar, I believe, the sprained wrist. He's on the 10-day IL. Not too sure when he's expected to come back. And that opened up some doors in the Yankees outfield, right? And also, you had an injury to Trey Ambergy. Trey Ambergy comes up. We were expecting him to get a lot of the majority of the time as the Yankees starting left fielder probably. Right. And then he strains his hamstring, I believe, in his second game with the team. So now Greg Allen has almost solidified himself as going from a AAA guy who probably wasn't going to see any sort of major league time at all this season to now providing the Yankees with some fresh life, a switch-hitting bat with speed that could maybe make himself as one of the starting outfielders even when the Yankees are fully healthy again. Let me throw up some numbers as far as his first 5 games with the Yankees goes. He's 5 for 12. Which has given him a 417 average, 500 on base, 1250 OPS. I know such a small sample size, but just have to give the numbers. But one number that I do think is pretty significant in that time is the 3 stolen bases, bro. I mean, the fact that he has 3 stolen bases within this amount of time, this very small amount of time, just goes to show the different brand of baseball that not only he's playing, but the brand of baseball that he allows the Yankees to play. And stolen bases obviously aren't something that the Yankees have kind of prided themselves in this season, but I think a guy like Greg Allen can kind of help change that narrative, and he already has.
Yeah. No, when you have a guy with the talent that he has, you got to utilize it, right? So you got to send him. He's got to steal some bases, and he has so far. Like you said, 3 stolen bases in 5 games. That's a small sample size, of course, but like that's unbelievable. I think that's probably more stolen bases than anyone else on the team so far this year.
Bro,
right?
Probably more stolen bases than anyone on this team, like past 2 seasons combined. Literally. But no, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, I'm looking at Greg Allen, and I think that's why fans love him so much. That's why they're gravitating towards him so much, because it's a style of play that we're just not used to, right? I was talking with Derek from MYY Recaps the other day, and he kind of compared it to when Brett Gardner originally bursted out onto the scene, right? We're talking about a young guy who provides like a ton of contact, a ton of speed, just seems to always come in like clutch situations. And I feel like that's what Greg Allen's doing. And also, like, I don't want people to forget, like, Greg Allen's no rookie, right? He played quite a few years with the Indians, kind of on and off. Both in 2018 and 2019, he played over 75 games with them. And he wasn't necessarily like the best hitter. So I think, Brian, what we were talking about before the show started here was maybe the Yankees have found like another Gio Urshela, right? A guy who was never really able to piece together the hitting until he came to the Yankees. And now he could kind of put that great speed and kind of pair it with the good hitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, Gio Urshela came from Cleveland. They couldn't find what worked for him there, and then he came here and we found it, right? So, like we always talk about, it seems like the Scranton Rail Riders have a really, really good coaching staff, and they seem to find things in guys that no one else does. And so if this is really a sign of what's to come, I mean, this is unbelievable. Obviously, we don't expect him to keep up this kind of production. He's hitting 417 right now, but with a 1200 OPS, you said? So
yeah.
We can't expect that, all right? But if he can keep up some kind of production like this, like even if he hits 250, like that's with his speed, like that's awesome. And
no, 1000%. And I think like that's what I don't want people to get like misconstrued here, because I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of people in the comments being like, "Yo, Pat, you're crazy if you think Greg Allen is the answer to the Yankees' problems." It's not that. it's kind of just the emergence of him has kind of just shown us that the Yankees can't rely solely on these power bats. So now whether if that addition to the lineup is going to be Greg Allen down the stretch, or if it is going to be another kind of like lefty, like speedy, gritty outfielder who they could kind of insert into that lineup, they need someone like that going down the stretch because you just can't have like 8 righties in the lineup who all like are gunning for 390-foot home runs every single time they're coming up to the plate. You know what I mean? So I think like now it kind of poses the question. Obviously, it depends on how Allen performs over the next week or so until the Yankees do get fully healthy again. But where does he fit as far as the Yankees being fully healthy? Because I want to know your opinion. Because for me, I think we know, like, I'm almost certain that I want him as the Yankees starting center fielder, barring any other acquisitions. I think that he would probably be a perfect fit out there. And I think I would definitely prefer him over Brett Gardner at this point. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely agree. I think that, obviously we have to see how he continues to play. But I think it opens up a lot of opportunities because the Yankees don't necessarily have to go out and get a big-name guy. You can go out and get someone, I can't think of an example at this point, but someone that's not necessarily a Joey Gallo, right? Because you have this guy that has been pretty decent so far. So, I mean, I think that's kind of probably the way that they're going to look at it. I think that he might end up being more of a bench piece. But either way, I mean, it's not a negative. If you got a guy that can, with his speed on the bench, like, there's no need for Tyler Wade then at that point, right? We can finally get rid of him. So I just think it opens so many opportunities for the Yankees. But I think going forward, he has the potential to be the starting center fielder.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brian. I think kind of like moving forward, I still think that regardless of how Greg Allen produces, I think that the Yankees still need to go out and acquire an outfielder. Because I don't really have much faith in Clint Frazier coming back and kind of performing up to expectations. I don't know how Miguel Andujar is going to perform. I'm not in love with his defense out there either. And also Brett Gardner, he's aging tremendously, and it's just very evident at this point. So yes, I think Greg Allen's an awesome fit on the Yankees. However, I think his best fit on the team might be as the 4th outfielder when this team is fully healthy. Just because as a switch hitter who plays all 3 outfield spots, I think that he could be a very very valuable tool. I hate to say it, but it's kind of the truth. I never thought I'd say that about Greg Allen because he was like the original guy I gravitated to at the beginning of spring training here, just because I thought that he would be a perfect fit on this team, thought he would be the perfect 4th outfielder. Then the Yankees re-signed Brett Gardner, and then they acquired so many other outfielders. We knew that was not going to be happening. But I think what you said is true. If you have Greg Allen on the bench, it kind of just lessens the value of Brett Gardner, lessens the value of Tyler Wade, and you definitely don't have to use them as often. But I think the sad part is, no matter what happens, I think Wade is still going to be on that Yankees bench. Gardner's still going to be on that Yankees bench. And I think Allen needs a little bit more playing time. So I guess we'll kind of see what happens in that area. But I think the bottom line here is we need to appreciate this emergence of Greg Allen while it lasts, because what he's doing right now for the Yankees is tremendous. And I hope that Listen, I don't want to say it's sustainable because I don't think it is. But if he could just sustain it to a minimum level and just provide the Yankees with some sort of value in that production area of speed and defense and contact, that's all we need at this point. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it kind of goes down from here. But the Greg Allen experience is maybe just beginning. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, that is going to wrap things up for today's episode. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. Be sure to hit all those different links in the description. A bunch of merchandise, news break, exclusive content on there. Stay tuned for all that. But you guys know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you all next time. Peace.